Okay, so today on this machine I'm changing out the blade and I'm also repairing the blade holder pivot pin because it is frozen and not accepting grease. So let's get started. So here's the blade. It's, basically one long piece. It's like a razor blade with one single blade. That's all it is. Held in by 12 bolts all the way down. What the blade is sitting on is called the blade holder. This piece right here. It pivots on this. That's your pivot point, and that's what's not taking grease. So there's just a big Allen key there. But before I mess with that, I'm going to take the blade off so I don't cut myself. Because even when they're quote dull, which is why I'm replacing it, they are still so sharp. So let me just take this blade off here first. Yeah, you know what? Actually, let me show you really quick how this thing kind of goes up and down. Now I'm going to leave that one on the very right on there because I don't want to start to lean on these. So you loosen it up, take the nut off, and these are how they look. Nut and a bolt. Keep those off to the side so you don't lose them. We'll just do all 12 here. Okay, now that all I have left are these two outer bolts. I got one there and then one on the other side. So now what I need to do is put this underneath. That way when the blade falls, it'll catch it. Okay, so I'll loosen this one up first over here and you'll see this blade drop down. Woo-hoo. It's always fun. Cool. All right, that's your old blade. Yes, it's a bit rusty. There's some nicks on it and stuff, but it looks pretty average, nothing crazy. Let me get a new one out. So for safety, we get them like this, we ship them out like this, just on a piece of wood that covers that sharp edge. So just 2 half-inch bolts that keep it on. So let me take this off. Whoops. Yeah, the life of this blade's almost done. So you'll notice there's 2 bolt holes. Depending on how wide this blade is, dictates, I should say, which bolt hole you use. So if the blade is between 3.5 inches to 4 inches, you use the back bolts, and if it's between 4 inches and 5 inches in width, use the front. This is definitely a back hole blade. I can just tell by looking at it, but let me get my tape measure out and we'll verify. I mean, you can tell right here, it is barely over 3.5 inches. I know it's probably fuzzy, but I can tell. And it is barely over 3.5 inches. In fact, this is probably gonna be its last hurrah, its last 2 weeks. Or, normally it's about 2 weeks on these things. So that's pretty much all it's got left, so. Thanks, buddy. Son of a bitch is normally on here very, very, very tight. So you don't want to strip it out. So you got to be careful, but it is. Oh, shit. Wow. Wow. That is crazy. I mean, that's so unnecessary for it to be that tight. Aha. So, I was kind of expecting this pin to be all rusted out. It's not. So I'm going to pump some grease into there first. That's the one that goes to this. That goes to the bearing for the auger. So I'm going to pump some grease into there and see if it actually even comes out. Okay, so grease is going in there. I don't have any clue why this wasn't accepting grease then. All right, I think what I'm going to do is twist that back in and pump some grease into it before I tighten it up all the way, and just make sure that I can keep taking grease. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna pump some grease into that right now. Make sure it's still taking it. See the grease coming out. But it is awfully hard to get it in there. And I don't know, I don't understand why. That's ridiculous. All right, well, it's hard to get grease in there, but it's going. See it coming out. All right, I'll keep tightening. Okay, that's bottom down. All right, cool, let's put this blade on. That should be fixed now. There really is no great way, you know, to put this back up. It's kind of a pain in the butt, and you just gotta be really, really careful. So, I know it's gotta go in these back bolts, so I slide the nut through, or the bolt through, and I kind of rest it on my palm, so I keep my fingers away from this edge, because if you just barely touch that edge, you are getting cut. Just try to line it up. Once it's through, just hit that top nut, thread it on a couple, and then go do the other side. Now it's up, and that was the most dangerous part, really. When you're tightening all the bolts, you can go from inside to out, or you can go from left side to right side. You cannot go from the outside on both sides in. I always just go left to right, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right, cool. You gotta put the top plates on and the towel back on, and then we go out and adjust it. All right, so I know I have this blade pretty close just from the garage adjustment, but now I'm gonna lower the conditioner, keep the auger off, collect some snow, and move forward. Look at the snow pile and make sure that it's even, because, you know, if one side's heavier than the other, I have to adjust the blade on either side. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of hard to see with snow, the white snow and ice, but this side is a little bit lighter than this side. I mean, it's really, really close. You know what, in fact, that's actually pretty damn good. You know what, I'm going to keep that. This blade's adjusted. If I had to, though, like let's say this end was lighter or had less snow, I would lower this side of the blade with this adjusting nut, and there's one down below it too. So that's pretty much it. So I think the next video I'm going to do is on this wash water pump. This sucks up excess water from your cold water loop. It's not sucking as much water as it used to, so I think that's going to be the next video. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.